In today's video, I am going to be talking about the easiest basketball offensive system to teach younger players. And also the reason why you would want to teach it as well. And that is the 5-out basketball offense. Really quickly, if you want the full guide to the 5-out basketball offense, make sure to go check out the link that is down in the description below. But why is this offensive system so easy to teach? Well, let me break it down. First off, especially for younger players, the players are spread out and you're forcing them to spread out because what happens is one of two things. When they're really young, they're all going to combine together and say, pass the ball, I'm wide open, when in reality, they are not open. And then when they're on the court, if they're not right next to the ball handler, they're going to be like this, trying to get the most closest position on the basket saying, I'm open, pass me the ball, I'm close to the rim, look, I'm open. And while they may be open, I highly doubt it, because guess what? If they are all in the same spot together, this is what the defense is going to look like. They are not open. That is a bundle of kids together, and it's not ever going to work. When they get a little bit older, maybe 9 years old, they'll start going like this. If they have no offensive system, saying, pass the ball, when in reality, they're still way too close to the rim. I really like teaching up here in Canada on high school courts. The reason being is because the high school court has the high school 3, which is much farther away than the elementary 3 or the junior high 3. Here in Canada, we use for high school the FIBA 3, which is quite a bit farther, and then for everyone elementary, we use the elementary 3, which is what you see on this basketball court right there. So now, everyone is spread out. You want to be spread out because now, if the defense is actually running how they should, you have now created a lot of easy attack angles and gaps to be able to attack. Obviously, if the other team is running a tight defense where they have no gap, well, then now it's just going to be clogging up space, but you don't generally see that at younger ages, so this is now opening up a lot of different angles. If we run a simple pass and cut, where you pass the ball and you cut, you are now teaching not just spacing, but now moving off ball and how to cut on your man too, because what happens is after they make this pass, a lot of younger players will just cut to the basket, or they'll cut behind their man, or they'll just cut to the free throw line, jog, and then kind of like make their way out to where they're supposed to be while everyone else fills up. So you want to teach cut to the rim, post up for a second, these guys fill, and then you remove yourself from the key, and you are now out on that corner. You can also run a ton of different offenses in this system. You can now teach how to do a dribble handoff. Obviously, if you're in Europe, you're not allowed to do a dribble handoff or a screen at younger ages, but in Canada and the United States, you can. You get that dribble handoff. This guy rolls to the basket. This guy dribbles up. You could even set up a staggered style screen. These guys may switch. You may now use player 5 as a screen. And now player 4 fills out. Player 3 now has a wide open middle of the key to attack. He could have himself a very easy layup. These guys could collapse. They can then learn how to pass the ball to perimeter players who can then take the 3, obviously, if your team can even shoot 3s. But the main reason why this is the easiest offense to teach is because there are 5 spots on the court. There's the point, and then there is the wing, also known as the 45, and then there is the corner. So there are 3 areas of the court they need to know. They also obviously need to know the high post and the low post. However, we can teach that later, because now if let's say we're cutting, and guess what? Let's say there's somebody who's doubled up in the corner, you can say, hey Bob, get yourself to the wing, and now he's on the wing. It makes it so much easier. Also, after you've done a set, so for example, a pass, cut, and fill, guess what? Everyone is still in that 5-out location. Everyone is still in the 5-out. So it's continuous. You can pass the ball, cut, everyone fills, 5 removes himself, player 3 passes, player 3 cuts. He's got nowhere to go. This is the hardest spot. This is the hardest part of this whole entire play. Instead of going and filling to the opposite side, he fills out to the same side. Super simple offense. Literally everyone runs this. This is so easy that once your player learns this, he can literally go and play for any team. Obviously, we don't want our players to leave us, but that is something that does happen. Now, pass and screen. Guess what? If you're allowed to screen, guess what? Now you have another option. You now have a player who is rolling to the basket, and you can get some easy paint touches. A lot of younger coaches, a lot of new coaches think that the 5-out offense is all about taking threes. They're not taking into aspect the fact that we want to hit the player, and we want to hit the player in the key. We want to hit him with a pass. We want to get that ball into the key. We want the ball in the paint. Because as soon as that ball gets into that paint, that collapses the defense. You can then kick that ball out for a 3-point shot, which then the defense starts scrambling. That player can then drive to the basket, have an open layup. It's a good freelance offense that has very few rules, but you can still run advanced things off of it. For example, a play that I like to run is pin down. These guys run a pin down screen, and I coach 11-year-olds for one of the teams that I coach. Player 2 comes up, 3 comes up, and sets that screen. After this, player 5 pops out, 4 pops out, and then after they pop out, player 1 uses one of these guys as a screen. He, let's say, will hit player 3, player 2 will then pop. He can pass to player 2, he can pass to player 3, or he can call Essen, or he can call weave. After he rolls, player 2 pops, 5 fills, 3 fills out. Now he's doing weave, which is a dribble handoff. Dribble handoff with these guys over here. Player 4 does that dribble handoff. He rolls. Player 1 comes up. Player 2 does that dribble handoff. 5 comes up, 3 comes up, 4 comes up. 2 rolls. Player 5 and 1 could do a dribble handoff. 2 pops out. 1 rolls. 5 has the option to shoot, pass, drive, kick over to player 3, drive, kick, whatever. We have a lot of different options off of that weave. We have now gone from a simple pass and cut into a pass and screen, into a dribble handoff, into a weave. There's so many different options from a pin down. There's so many different options where you can just start stacking plays over top, until it just becomes a point where you just eventually score. That's why I personally love the 5-out offense, and it's so simple and easy to run. I hope that you've enjoyed today's video. If you have, hit that like button and subscribe, and I'll see you guys again next time. Make sure to go check out my complete guide to the 5-out offense down in the description below.